qualification campaign for the World Cup out in Qatar kicks it up a notch, as of course we have World Cup qualifying matches around the world, including the Far East. We're talking about Asia, that's right, and we've got the first round of picks coming up here next. Right, folks, back once again with another prediction video. Today we look forward to the Asian qualifying campaign for the World Cup out in Qatar, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe, look at your banger tip with all things World Cup related out in Qatar. That's right, Blackburn Rovers related, world football related. We're going to know here under one roofski. Where have you been? Smash your subscribe, get your bang up to date with all of that and more right here, of course. But anyway, we're going to take a look at, of course, what is it? The second or the third round of qualifying over in it is the third round of qualifying for the spots out in Qatar. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Of course, big shout out to the VIPs. They are the Patreons, boys and girls. Thank you for your love, and I do appreciate it, of course. And if you are new and interested in becoming an latest member of the Patreon gang, check out those links down below, boys and girls. Anyway, let's get into the thick of things and bring you bang up to date, of course, where we are entering the third round of qualifying. So here we go, boys and girls. Here we go. Now, what we're going to do is going to go back to the second round of matches, of course, and take a look at the tables and see who got through to the final or the third round stage. There is a fourth round. We'll talk about that in a minute. But anyway, of course, here we go. Of course, take a look at the courts. For the most part, the top team went through. Second team was kind of best second place team would go through. Syria and China both make it through to the third round, of course, after topping Group A, quite respectively. A couple of points separate two sides, quite a difference as well between themselves and the Philippines in third. Into Group B though, just Australia go through, of course, 100% record for them. Kuwait, Jordan and Nepal, Chinese Taipei miss out. Over in Group C, it was Iran and Iraq both go through as, of course, first and second place teams on that one. Bahrain just miss out as well. In Group D, of course, Saudi Arabia squeaked past, of course, Uzbekistan, Palestine, Singapore and Yemen, and they are just the representative from Group D. Into Group E, we have Qatar. They are the hosts, which of course is a little bit weird. I thought they were already qualified. I don't know why they're in this, but I guess they're in anyway. We'll have a look at that in just a second. So Oman also go through, I think. In fact, so yeah, I don't think Qatar are in the next stage. I think they're out now because they are hosts. But Oman go through. India, unfortunately, go out as well. Japan comfortably through as well. Tajikistan, unfortunately, did not make it the cut. Group G sees the United Arab Emirates go through with 18 points. Vietnam also join them. Malaysia, Thailand and Indonesia crash out. And South Korea, they go through as well. Lebanon join them as well as to take part in the next stage as well. So that's the situation for the second round of matches. Let's take a look at those groups. And there is two groups, of course, of 6 teams each. They'll be locking horns over the course of the next few weeks and months to see who goes through. So in Group A, we have Iran, Iraq, South Korea, Lebanon, Syria and United Arab Emirates make up Group A. Of course, who's your fancy on that one? Of course, I think that, did I say the top 2 teams qualify to go through automatically for the World Cup? So 4 nations will qualify via this. Of course, the third place team will go to a fourth round, and I think they will duke it out for the one and only spot left. So I think 5 teams total will go through to join Qatar, who are already there. In Group B, of course, Australia in there, China, Japan, Oman, Saudi Arabia, and Vietnam. Already, I'm thinking Australia, maybe Japan, or Japan as well to be the top 2. China could be some tricky wickets. Saudi Arabia also regular faces at the World Cup as well. So there'll be a tight group. This one, of course, we do have a prediction league for this one. If you want to get involved, it is pretty simple to enter. This is, of course, Matchday number 1 for the third round over in Asia. If you want to get involved, it's free to enter. /WC22 Asia. That's right. Of course, it's a brand new squeaky clean prediction league just for Asia. So make sure you get involved for that one. But of course, we're going to look forward to this one, which is Matchday number 1. So let's get into it and have a look at the matches then, shall we? Alrighty, let's get in the deep end then, shall we? Of course, take a look at the next round of matches, which do kick off on the 2nd of September. Now, we're going to probably have 2 predictions for these over the course of September. So this is match number 1. All teams are involved, I think. So there'll be 6 matches in total. We'll kick it all off with South Korea taking on Iraq, of course, over in Korea. The World Cup Stadium, of course. This will take place on the 2nd of September. Pretty sure the 6th time since 2006. 3 wins for Korea, 2 wins for Iraq, and 1 draw. The biggest win for Korea over Iraq was a 3-0 win. The biggest win other way was a 4-3 win. Of course, they scored 10 goals to their 6, heading into 1.67 goals against ratio compared to just the 1 for Iraq. Of course, 33% form. 67% form for Korea, just 1 defeat the past 5 for them. Meanwhile, Iraq coming to 67% form, also just 1 defeat the past 6. Of course, that 1 defeat, we'll tell you about it, was against Iran. It was a World Cup qualifying match way back in June. As for Korea, they come into this on the back of a win against Lebanon. Last time they played each other over last time they played each other was a 0-0 draw in a friendly in Iraq, though. Last time they played each other potentially in Korea. It was a 2-1 win for Korea back in 2009. Of course, both teams will fancy the chance on this one. Again, you got to win your home games to be any realistic shout. I've got no odds as well, or do I? I might have some odds on this one. Okay, I do have odds, but I don't really have the numbers. They're kind of a bit weird looking odds. I don't really know how to say this, but I believe South Korea are your favourites. Of course, the Iraq are your underdogs, and the draw is, of course, middle of the road on this one. But I'm going to go with a win for South Korea on this one to take it to the house. 3-1, that's right. Of course, give themselves a fantastic start. Next up, of course, we have Iran against Syria, who are a bit of an unknown entity heading into this. They played each other 7 times in 2006, 3 wins for Iran, nothing for Syria, and 4 draws. Of course, the biggest win for Iran over Syria was a 5-0 win. Of course, they come into this, though, Iran 100% form, winning 6 on the bounce. Syria come into 67% form, picking up 2 defeats at the past 4 games. Last time played each other in Iran was a 5-0 win back in 2019. However, since then, Syria have gone on a bit of a reboot, revitalisation sort of thing. Of course, heading into this, though, Syria did lose to China. They picked up wins against Guam and the Maldives. They did lose to Jordan as well, and picked up win against Azerbaijan as well. So hot and cold a little bit for Syria, but again, away form is probably where their downfall is. I think Iran will be too superior at home. They come to us, of course, on the back of a 1-0 win against Iraq. Prior to that, they beat Cambodia 10-0. They beat Iran as well 3-0. Who's their manager these days? Is it the same guy, former Real Madrid manager? I don't even know. Iran will be far too superior on this one. I'm going to go with a convincing home win, 3-0 in the end, to give themselves a boost already. Day 1, match 1 for Iran. Next, of course, we have the United Arab Emirates against Lebanon, of course. Chance for one of their neighbours, or their neighbouring nations, of course, for Qatar to get through as well. These two sides played each other 3 times in 2011. 2 wins for UAE, 1 win for Lebanon. Of course, no draws. Of course, the biggest win for UAE was a 4-2 win. The biggest win the other way was a 3-1 win. Last time we played each other, of course, in UAE, it was a 3-2 win back in November 2014. United Arab Emirates come into this 92% form, winning 5 of the bouts. Meanwhile, Lebanon come into this just 2 wins in the past 4 games. Of course, their last win was against Djibouti, of course, back in June 2021. They got defeats by Korea and Turkmenistan sandwiched in between their last win, which was against Sri Lanka back in June as well. UAE coming to us on the back of the wins against Vietnam, Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, and India. Also a draw against Iraq way back in the month of June 2021. Of course, they'll fancy the chances at home on this one as well. I'm going with them as well to take it to the house. 2-0 win, clean sheet to boot, and again put themselves in good shape. Probably one of those awkward teams to avoid. Into the Group B now, I think. We're going to go and lock horns between China, going to Australia. That's right. This match also taking place on the 2nd of September at the Qatari Sports Club Stadium. Is that taking place over in Qatar? I don't even know. Anyway, played the 5 times since 2007. Of course, 2 wins apiece and 1 draw. The biggest win for Australia was a 2-0 win. The biggest win the other was a 7-goal thriller going in favour of China. China coming to 83% form, winning 5 on the bounce. Meanwhile, Australia coming to 6 on the bounce, 100% form, of course, heading into this. Last time played in Australia was a 4-3 win going in favour of China way back in 2013. Australia, though, beating Jordan, Nepal, Chinese Taipei, Kuwait, Jordan, and Chinese Taipei again, of course, gets through to this stage. China coming to this on the back of wins against Syria, Maldives, Philippines, Guam, Hong Kong, and of course a lost Korean Republic as well. Australia, though, been slowly but surely grinding away here in Asia, and of course to be one of the teams you want to avoid for the most part, but I think especially if it's at home in Australia, I think they'll win. I'm backing the Australians to get the Socceroos with a 3-1 win on this one to take it to the house. Next up, of course, we have Japan up against Oman. That's right, over in Japan. Of course, been busy with the Olympics, but of course, attention switches now to the football game again. Panasonic Arena is your host. Played each other 6 times in 2008. 5 wins for Japan, nothing for Oman, and 1 draw. The biggest win for Japan over Oman was a 4-0 win. The biggest win the other way, there was none. Of course, heading into this, 83% form for Oman, winning 4 in the bouts. Of course, 1 defeat the past 6 games. That 1 defeat was against Qatar. Meanwhile, Japan come to 100% form, winning at 6 on the bounce, beating the likes of Kazakhstan, Serbia, Tajikistan, Myanmar, Mongolia, and Korean Republic as well. They conceded just a couple of goals. Conceded 2 goals in the past 6, scoring, I don't even know, 27, 31, 32, 32, 30, maybe 38 goals in the past 6 games. Insane in the membrane. Of course, last time I played in Japan, these 2 sides was a 4-day win for Japan as well. They got back-to-back games, back-to-back clean sheets against Oman as well. So you'd fancy Japan on this one, I think. Red hot favourites. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win as well. Could be more than that. Maybe double it. And then that's your lot. Finally, we have Saudi Arabia up against Vietnam, of course, also taking place on the 2nd of September. They play each other. This will be the first time they've locked horns, of course. Heading into this, though, Saudi Arabia, 83% form, winning 5 in the bounce. Meanwhile, Vietnam, just 1 defeat in the past 6, 67% form for them heading into this one, of course. They head into this Vietnam on the back of a defeat against UAE back in June. Of course, prior to that, wins against Malaysia, Indonesia, draws against Jordan and Thailand to put them in this stage, of course. They also beat UAE over in Vietnam last round. Over in Saudi Arabia, though, of course, heading into this, 5 wins on the bounce. beating Uzbekistan, beating Singapore, beating Yemen and Palestine and Saudi Arabia. 5 games, 5 wins, 5 clean sheets. Saudi Arabia are a team to avoid. For me, I've got to go with it on this one as well. I do have odds, 13-2 or something like that. Red hot favourites. Saudi Arabia are your favourites on this one. Vietnam are your long shots, 20-1 on this one. 1-0 win though. It should be more than that, but I'm going to go keep it nice, keep it clean. But that's my lot, of course, for the World Cup Qatar predictions. Of course, for the Asian nations. Of course, we'll come back for match number 2 for that one. Hopefully, you will do. 2, of course, if you want to get involved, use the link cut.ly/WW or WC22 Asia. That's right. Of course, it's free to enter. Of course, it's a brand new squeaky clean prediction league. Of course, when you come back around, we'll look forward to match number 2. Of course, we'll kick on from that and of course deeper into the knockout stages. But anyway, that's it. My fault for my friends. Be sure to give the video some love and smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe. Check out those links down below on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and of course Patreon as well. If you want to support the channel in a way, check out that link, patreon.com/Roverseas. Become the latest brother from another mother. But until then, I'll see you soon for the next one, whenever that is. Of course, as your team going to go through, where's your team going to struggle? Well, let me know in the comment section down below. Until then, we're done.